My name is Judy. I'm a 40-year-old housewife. I live with my husband Jack, who is 2 years older than me, and with our cat. We have been married for 15 years now. If you ask me that if I have been completely satisfied with my marriage so far, I would say not really. That is partly because we were unable to have kids. And the other reason is that Jack works at a low-salary job, and he doesn't help with the housework and spends his day off just hanging out at home. And what's more, Jack is a bit of a mama's boy, and even though he is in his 40s, he still wants to visit his parents-in-law's house, which is very close by.
My mom is a lot more lonely now since my dad passed away.
Jack makes excuses like that, but there's no way that his mom, Mary, is weak like that. She had no manners and also had a terrible personality. You know what? I was standing in line at the supermarket the other day and I farted, and it made a very loud noise. I was so embarrassed that I turned around and blamed it on the person behind me and said to that person, "It's so rude to fart." Mary laughed as she told the story of what had happened while they were shopping, and Jack, who was listening, also laughed with her, but I was just disgusted and didn't want to be with them. I couldn't believe that Mary was my mother-in-law. Mary has only a few friends because of her character and personality, and she's the kind of person whose only hobby seems to be picking on her daughter-in-laws. I wouldn't have a hard time going to Mary's house if I had a good relationship with her, but no wife would want to be near a mother-in-law with a personality like that. My brother-in-law Phil and his wife, Anna, who used to live together at Mary's house, also ran away because Anna also couldn't stand Mary. I mean, I can completely understand her. If my father-in-law was still alive, living with them may have been tolerable, but I wonder what kind of punishment it would be to live with only Mary. Unlike me, who argued back with my own opinions directly, Anna is a quiet and patient person. But even that quiet Anna wanted to get as far away from Mary as possible. So what kind of abuse did she get from Mary which made her want to get away like that? Phil, my brother-in-law, who is also a mama's boy like Jack, didn't want to move that far away. So now Mary, Phil and Anna, and Jack and I are all living separately, but we all just live close by each other. Jack and Phil were both mama's boys. I don't know what's so good about a mother like Mary. But I can still put up with Mary as long as we live in separate households. If Mary should ever ask me to live with her, I'll definitely reject it. I had firmly promised myself to do so. But when Mary called us over the other day, she had brought up the topic about living together. I've been thinking about it, and I think it's finally time for us to move in together. When can you move in? Suddenly, Mary had gathered us and Phil and Anna and started talking about moving in together. She made it sound like she had already decided to move in with us on her own. And I'm also surprised that she even jumped to discussing on when to move in together. Huh? Now, wait a minute. I don't want to live together with you, Mary. I saw Anna go through a lot of hardships, and I don't want to go through the same thing. I am not asking you, I am asking Jack. Even though I firmly refused to live with her, Mary didn't listen to what I had to say at all. If we were to live together, I should be involved in the discussion too, but of course, she ignores my opinion.
Well, I don't mind. I don't mind living together. It would be easier for you to take care of Mom in the future if we all lived together, right?
Well, of course, Jack would agree to live together. And he did so on the premise that I would be the one taking care of Mary. Taking care of Mary? Me? Are you kidding me? Mary has been bullying Anna and I for years, and now you want me to take care of her? How could you even say that? I said it as I sighed, but Mary looked disappointed. Oh no, how could you accuse me like that? As an elder housewife who's much more experienced, I just gave you both some advice, that's all. How could she even think that what she was doing was giving some advice? In any case, I don't want to live with Mary or take care of her. If you really insist to live together, then we'll get a divorce. Jack got nervous hearing what I said.
Hey, divorce over something like this, you're overreacting.
Overreacting? Forcing someone to live with you or having to take care without asking about my own opinions are good reasons for a divorce. I have a job with a fixed income, so getting a divorce doesn't bother me at all. When I argued back, Jack got silent. Well then, it can't be helped. If Judy really doesn't want to do it, then I'll just have to ask Phil and Anna to come back. Now, it was Anna's turn to start panicking. No, I don't want to. If I have to live with Mary again, I'll go mental. I will never do it. But this time, Phil began to argue back.
Now, calm down, Anna. My mom may have been a little hard on you in the past, but she did it for your sake. Mom is sorry for what she did.
She's sorry? As far as I can see, Mary doesn't seem to be sorry at all. Yes, exactly. I mean, you never say anything back whenever I try to talk to you. There's no thrill in that. A strong-willed wife like Judy is a problem. But a wife who doesn't say anything is also a problem too, isn't it?
That's right. You have things that you should reflect back on too, you know.
What? Anna was absolutely mortified by Phil's unbelievable comment. I was also feeling the same as Anna, as I was standing beside her, and I was just too stunned to say anything.
Besides, Anna, you've become a housewife all your life, so if you get divorced, you'll be in trouble right away. It's not like you have a job like Judy.
When Phil began to say that, Mary jumped into that conversation. Exactly. Anna, if you keep being selfish, Phil could leave you, you know? If a woman with neither good looks nor good style gets rejected, she'll have no choice but to go out on the street. What exactly is Mary sorry about? I seriously wondered. Mary was enjoying how this talk was going to, so she looked really excited. Anna, you were still pretty when you were young. Now, you're so chubby. Come to think of it, it's that time of season where sea lions begin to move around, right?
Sea lions, huh? That's a good one.
Even Phil burst out laughing. How rude! Are you trying to call me a sea lion? Anna burst into tears and I tried to comfort her, but both Mary and Phil didn't stop talking. Oh no, stop being so paranoid. I was only talking about the sea lions. Right, Phil? The sea lions flap their flippers and cry out, right?
She's just like them.
To my surprise, both Phil and Mary began to imitate a sea lion together. Please stop. What is wrong with you people? I shouted, and Anna burst into tears and ran out of the house. I shouted over to Mary as I stood up to chase after Anna. How horrible and inconsiderate of you. That's why neither Anna nor I want to live with you. Then Jack joins in.
You think you're all that because you're working, but after all, a woman trying to survive on her own is bound to end up on the street. Just like Anna, you'd be in trouble if you divorce me. Don't you dare even think of using divorce as a threat. He glares at me as he says this. It was true that I was in a better position than Anna, but I couldn't really say, yes, let's divorce right away. Anyways, I would never live with Mary, I said and ran out of the house. I decided to find Anna and comfort her. After searching around for a while, I found Anna walking along the sidewalk. Anna! Oh, Judy. Anna's face was filled with tears. I
I managed to calm Anna down and went into a nearby coffee shop. I can't take it anymore. Mary has been bullying me, and Phil doesn't help me at all. I agreed to what she had to say. Well, yeah. Phil and Jack are both Mama's boys, aren't they? I sighed. If it's only light verbal abuse, then I can stand it, but I can't stand it anymore knowing that Phil is cheating on me too. And to think that even Mary is helping Phil have an affair? At Anna's sudden topic about Phil having an affair, I panicked. What? Wait a minute. Huh? Phil's having an affair? And Mary's cooperating? Oh, you had no idea? That man has been cheating on me for years. He kept on saying that he was going to visit Mary, but he was actually on a date with his mistress. Mary knew about it, and she was even helping him create an alibi. Anna was in tears, as if to vent all the feelings that had been building up inside her. I was so stunned and felt very bad for Anna. I pity her so much, being harassed by Mary and even being cheated on by her own husband. I completely agree with how you're feeling about all this, Anna. I feel so sorry for you. But why did you even put up with it? No matter how worried you are about how you'd live in the future, you shouldn't have to put up with this kind of life. I thought I was cheering her up by saying this. But Anna looked up at me with curious eyes. What do you mean, why am I putting up with it? Because it's the same for you, isn't it? Huh? Then Anna began to tell me an outrageous story. After hearing the whole story, Anna and I decided to team up and go against Mary and our husbands. They were all a bunch of assholes. There is no way they can mock Anna and I to this extent, and there's no way we both could remain silent about it. We will surely pay back for all that they've done to us. And 1 month after Anna and I's discussion, Mary ordered all of us to come over to her place again. Since then, Anna and I have been steadily making preparations without saying anything to our husbands. And this was the perfect opportunity. We all headed over to Mary's place. Well, I thought about it. And after all, either Phil's family or Jack's family would have to move in with me. Mary began to talk about the topic of moving in together once again. I'm getting old, and eventually I'll have to have one of my daughter-in-laws take care of me, so I figured it's better to begin practicing now. To this, Anna answered right away. I don't want to live with you, Mary. I will never live with you. If we have to live together, then I'll get a divorce. Anna's tone of voice was so different from her previous ones that even Mary seemed to be taken aback. That again? What about you, Judy? She asks me this since Anna said no, and I answer back to her. So, what you're saying is that you want us daughter-in-laws to live with you because you want us to take care of you, is that right? Well, that's one thing, but I'm also lonely now, and I'd rather live with either Phil or Jack. Since both Anna and I kept on saying no to her request, Mary seemed to be getting more and more irritated. Are you really saying that you both can't obey to your own mother-in-law's request? Well, this is an order. I'm going to live with my son, so you have to live with me. Then, Anna and I both looked at each other and nodded. I will not. How about this person instead? I then spread out some photos on the table. That's... Phil and Jack began to panic, because those photos were evidence that both Phil and Jack were having an affair. The photos were of them entering a hotel with a woman, kissing in the park, and so on. You two were both cheating on us. You two are really close brothers, huh? And I heard that Mary also knew about this? Even though Mary knew about it, she was helping you to create alibis. How could she be so shameless as to ask us to live with her and take care of her while doing such a despicable thing? Anna was also nodding her head beside me. If you want somebody to take care of you, Mary, then ask these women in the photos. We are both getting divorced, so I will not live or take care of you. You're causing so much troubles here, Mary panicked. Troubles? Well, we don't feel like we're in trouble at all. Right, Anna? Anna smiled.
Hey, Anna! If you divorce me then, you'll be the one who's in trouble. There's no way a housewife can make it all on her own.
Phil started to yell. He might want to start imitating the sea lion again like he did a month ago, but we will not let him do that anymore.
Divorce is just a threat.
Anna then replied with a smile on her face. Oh, I'm not the one in trouble, you know. Because I'm planning to get alimony from you.
What?
I'm also going to charge the woman you cheated on me with for alimony, and I think it will at least cover the cost of renting a small apartment and getting my life back on track. I'll have to work hard to find a job, but I also still plan to do everything I can to make it on my own. Oh, Anna, don't worry. I'll support and help you out. Anna and I both decided to cooperate and help each other get through this crappy situation. With my personal savings, we can manage to make a living for the time being. If Anna gets alimony from Phil and his partner, she will pay it back to me with a small amount of interest. And for this to work, we must do whatever it takes to get money from them. Oh, Jack, it's pretty obvious that I'll be asking for alimony from you too. And also from the woman you cheated on me with. Even though I'm working, there's never enough money for a 40-year-old divorcee. When I said this to Jack, he looked at me in despair.
I'm sorry. It was just a desire. And it was just for fun. It wasn't anything serious.
Serious or not, cheating is cheating. We have already consulted this to our lawyer, so you can make excuses all you want to our lawyer. I gave Jack and Phil the business card of our lawyer's office. The lawyer represented both Anna and I. We signed up for 2 lawyers at the same time and got a small discount for a lawyer to be on both our cases. This was a very good deal for both Anna and I. It's also known as a clever housewife's trick.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's talk about this. Just not divorce, please. I'll apologize. I'm sorry.
Jack and Phil both got down on their knees and apologized on the spot, but Mary was just upset and started to scream. Well, if you both want a divorce, why don't you do it then? I'm not going to put up with you both who can't be patient enough about your own husband's 1 or 2 affairs. Anna then began to laugh. Before I knew it, Anna looked completely confident. After all, a woman gets stronger at the final moment. Mary, you can tolerate very well with affairs, huh? Is it because you know what it's like to have an affair? Hearing this, Mary was so shocked that she flinched. What are you talking about so suddenly? I heard that you had an affair too. I heard it from one of your neighbors. You had a fling with a part-time worker at Jack's swim club. What the hell is going on with your family DNA? Compared to you all, father-in-law was so serious. Who the hell told you that? Well, I wonder who could it be? Why don't you ask around if you're curious? Well then, we're going back to pack our bags, so we'll be going now. Anna and I stood up at the same time. And then I said this with a huge smile on my face. Please just enjoy and continue on imitating the sea lion you did previously. After that, Anna and I went back to our own houses and left with the luggage we had packed in advance. We had already signed a contract for an apartment, so we would meet there. Jack called me and Phil called Anna several times, but we ignored all of them and left everything to our lawyer. After a while, both our divorce got settled and we finally got our alimony. Mary's intention to have her daughter-in-laws take care of her stopped since then, and she started to rely on her 2 sons. And now, it seems that there's a dispute between Phil and Jack about who was going to take care of her.
Please come home. I'm really sorry. Let's start over again. I'll wait for you forever at that restaurant where we used to go for our dates.
Phil and Jack kept on sending us messages to get back together again. We would mock about Phil and Jack at night after work over a light drink while reading their stupid messages. Hey, Anna, where is that restaurant which Phil mentioned? Oh, I don't really know what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure the restaurant where we used to go on dates is gone now, so I have no clue what he's talking about. Anna and I lived together for a little while, but when Anna got a job, she moved out of the apartment. She and I are now best friends who ran away from that horrible family together. We would like to continue to support and cooperate with each other. I'm now leading a very laid-back life, drinking coffee while petting my cat.
You're a really bad wife.
You're always too dull. Troy and Catherine, my husband and my sister-in-law, are always verbally abusing me. Get out and leave this house, you worthless wife who doesn't even do her household chores. Jennifer, my mother-in-law, said this and randomly grabbed salt and spilled it all over me. Because of this, my whole clothes were covered with salt, and some of it went in my mouth, which was very salty. Here you go. Here's the divorce papers. It seems like Jennifer and Catherine has prepared the divorce paper in advance. I took the divorce papers, filled in my name, and packed up my things. Well, this is it. Y'all should be thanking me for taking care of you all. My name is Cynthia. I am a 30-years-old office worker. I have been married to Troy for 2 years now. We met at a blind date, and when we met, Troy was an employee working for a small company. At the blind date, Troy was the one who was interested in me and made his moves on me. Since he seemed to be sincere, worked diligently at his company, and even though he was 2 years younger than me, I was able to picture a stable life with him. Because I was able to picture the future life with him, I decided to go on dates with him to get to know him better. He was very kind and was such a gentleman. He always took me out on dates, which made me become more and more attracted to him. Not only we started dating, we became in a serious relationship and we decided to get married. Even after we got married, we both worked. We shared the household chores and lived happily with balancing our work life and life at home. And even after being married to Troy for 2 years, our happiness hasn't changed. But then one day, Troy suddenly just quit his job. Why did you quit your workplace so suddenly?
Because I realized that I am not an office worker material.
With that kind of reason?
What do you mean with that kind of reason? Cynthia, I thought you were on my side all the time.
What? No, that's not what I meant. Of course, honey, I'm always on your side, but I just wanted you to discuss these kind of matters to me before you make any decisions.
Oh, my bad. But I just wanted to quit right away.
Troy said this as he was scratching his head. I was very much surprised because I had no idea that my husband hated his job this much to quit right away so suddenly. For now, it's okay with Troy quitting his job because I make a good amount of money from my work. But I would like him to find his next job as soon as possible. But then, 2 weeks later, my husband made a surprising statement.
Hey, Cynthia, I'm going to start a boba tea place.
What? Are you being serious right now, Troy?
The boba tea price cost is cheap and I can do it with a small tenant.
Oh no. Troy, have you ever worked in a food service industry before, like a cafe or restaurant or even a cafeteria?
No, I never experienced food service industry.
Then, I don't think you opening a boba tea place is a good idea because I don't think you will be successful and won't make any profits.
Why are you saying such thing? Don't make any assumptions before I even try.
Well, I can understand you wanting to have your own cafe or restaurant or boba tea place if you ever had an experience working in the food service industry before, but opening a boba tea place out of the blue doesn't sound like such a good idea.
I don't care what you say, Cynthia. I will be opening my boba tea place. I don't like the idea of working for someone else, so I'll be the boss of my own boba tea place.
My husband, without listening to me, proceeded to prepare opening the boba tea place on his own. I told Troy that I would not cooperate in any way of him doing the boba tea place, and that he should do it on his own. But to my surprise, he decided on the design and concept of the boba tea place and prepared to open the boba tea place on his own. As I watched Troy's boba tea place take in shape, I decided that if he was doing so well, I would see how the place goes. Then, my husband really opened a boba tea place all on his own. The boba tea place has a nice atmosphere and the location is not that bad. For a moment, I thought Troy's boba tea place could really be a thriving business. However, in reality, the idea of having a boba tea place is not that easy. The trend of drinking boba tea compared to before was gone. The few customers who came to buy Troy's boba tea drinks were the core fans who liked boba tea, regardless of the trend, but then again, that's only a few. Moreover, my husband, who was not experienced in restaurant or a cafe, was very slow at making his boba tea drinks. So, by the time Troy serves his boba tea to his customers, since he takes time, the ice in the drink will melt, which makes his boba tea taste very watery. Because of that, Troy has no regular customers who would come to drink his boba teas again, has no buzz, and has no profit at all. Well, it is said in the food service industry that one should be prepared to make zero profit for the first year, so maybe this was inevitable. But, even so, it was obvious that Troy's boba tea place would go out of business if it continued like this. So, I advised my husband that he should give up early and close his boba tea place. Then, my husband says,
I just started this boba tea place, so there's no way I am going to quit anytime soon,
in an angry manner.
Why would you say such a thing to demotivate me, Cynthia?
He said this to me in an accusing manner. When Troy is in this mood, he would not change his mind, and he would just verbally abuse me, but I couldn't cave into his idea. If we don't do something, we'll not only lose more and more money, but our debt will also increase. By now, don't you realize it's reckless to open a boba tea place without any plan? I think you worked enough at your boba tea place to learn that lesson. If you want to succeed in the food service industry, why don't you first get a little more experience in a restaurant or in a cafe before having your own place? I tried my best to convince him and make him understand my point of view, but he would not even listen to me and understand where I am coming from. I thought I had to do something or anything to bring him back to his senses, but then he made another startling comment the next day.
Let's live with my mom.
What? Why are you saying this?
Because if we move into my parents' house, the rent will be free. Then there will be no problem even if my income is small. Besides, Mom has been on her own for years since Dad passed away. I'm thinking of moving in with her as a way to take care of her.
By saying this, Troy was trying to persuade me into living with his mother. But to be honest, I was not very keen on the idea of moving in with Jennifer, my mother-in-law, because Jennifer was very cold and mean to me. I had been to Jennifer's house for the holidays, such as Thanksgiving and Christmas, but every time I visit her, she only behaves as if she hates me. Well, I have never been severely mistreated as a Troy's wife, but I knew that it would be a lot of trouble if I started living with Jennifer. However, Troy showed no signs of caving into the idea of not living with Jennifer. Besides, if my husband really decides on continuing to run his boba tea place, since he won't be making any income soon, we won't be able to afford our living expenses sooner or later. Thinking money-wise, it would not be a bad idea to live with Jennifer. When I compared the pros and cons of this situation, I thought there were more pros than cons, so I caved in and agreed to Troy to live with Jennifer for now. And so life of living with Jennifer began. I was immediately faced with Jennifer's bullying. "Cynthia, don't just stand there and do nothing. Get on with the cleaning, laundry, and cooking. You are such a slowpoke. You're the wife of the owner of a boba tea place, so you better get your act together." Jennifer's angry voice suddenly echoed through the house. I didn't think I would get yelled at from the very first day of living together. I was already feeling not good about this situation and had only bad feelings about living with Jennifer. Troy was just looking unconcerned and oblivious about this situation, even though it was very obvious that I was in trouble and needed help and support from him. And there was one more person who was mean and annoyed me at Jennifer's house. It was Catherine, my sister-in-law. After I moved into Jennifer's house, I found out that Catherine got divorced from her husband and started to live with Jennifer with her child, Elizabeth. Therefore, we were not only living with Jennifer, but also with Catherine and Elizabeth. "Cynthia, why is there no ice cream in the fridge?" That's because your daughter ate 2 yesterday, didn't she?" "What? I'm not asking you that. Get the hint. I'm saying that you should go get more ice cream when you know that there isn't any left in the fridge. You're a really inconsiderate wife." Catherine and Jennifer both complained and picked on me about anything they could find to do so. My husband is the same as ever, ignoring Catherine picking on me and being mean to me. Troy had no say in it and just seemed unconcerned. He should be worried and should take care of me because it was his idea to live with Jennifer. So, I would glare at him coldly. But my husband was relaxing on the couch, paying attention to his phone, and paying no attention to me. Within a few days of moving in together, my frustration was already near my limit. And I learned later that Jennifer's house had a 35-year mortgage, and Jennifer still had loan payments to make. Yet, Jennifer nor Catherine does not work at all. They are currently paying their loans and mortgage from my father-in-law's inheritance and pension, who had passed away a few years ago. If Jennifer was living alone, she could manage to pay the loan. But now, since that Catherine and Elizabeth is living with her, paying off her payments have become much more difficult for Jennifer. Therefore, Jennifer said, "If you are going to be living with me, you should put some money in the house," to me. I agreed to Troy about moving into Jennifer's house because he said there would be no rent. But since we have to pay the rent, I feel pointless to live with Jennifer. Furthermore, Jennifer demanded, "I want you to pay for our living expenses as well, so you have to put in about $2,000 per month." In the end, I had to pay Jennifer $2,000 per month from my salary. But there was a reason why I was paying Jennifer without any complaints. It was because my husband told me,
"I have a feeling that sales are about to increase soon."
According to my husband, the number of customers are increasing at his shop. I thought that once his boba tea place gets on track, we would be able to make a stable living. So I decided to be more patient until then. So, for the upcoming 3 months, I was very patient. In the meantime, Jennifer and Catherine continued picking on me and being mean to me. Since I was about to reach my limit, I decided to sneak out and visit my husband's boba tea place unannounced. But, to my surprise, there were no customers there. I watched his boba tea place from a distance for a while, but there was no sign of any customers at all. Maybe my husband was lying. That thought crossed my mind. At the same time, at my workplace, I succeeded on my project and was getting a promotion. After getting my promotion, I was put in charge of a joint project with a new company. Since it's a new project with a different new company and I was in charge of this project, I had a lot to do for my work. Working overtime became normal, and there were times when I had to come in very early for work. This meant that I had less and less time to do household chores. If possible, I wanted Jennifer and Catherine, who are always at home, to do the household chores, but they stubbornly refused. Household chores are for the wife's job. By saying that, both Jennifer and Catherine refused to do any of the household chores and just left it to me to do them. So, when I couldn't do household chores for a while because of the new project I was in charge of, the laundry piled up, the room was covered with dust, and it became a real mess. Moreover, I have to also prepare dinner for them, and on days when I have to work late, Jennifer, Catherine, and Troy would have expensive food delivered to home for them to enjoy and leave nothing for me to eat. And even though I am unable to do household chores because of my work, Jennifer and Catherine just blames me for it. Recently, not only Jennifer and Catherine, but even my husband blames me.
You're a really bad wife.
You're always too dull. My husband and my sister-in-law are always verbally abusing me. Get out and leave this house, you worthless wife who doesn't even do her household chores. Then Jennifer said this and randomly grabbed salt and spilled it all over me. Because of this, my whole clothes were covered with salt, and some of it went in my mouth, which was very salty. This is way out of hand, and this situation is too horrible. I have tried my best to do the housework in my own way, and I have contributed in many other ways, such as putting in money for living expenses. And yet, I get such treatment like this. You're the one who feeds off from Troy's earnings, and doing nothing but being so arrogant. What? Yeah, that's right. I really don't know what you're doing not doing household chores when you're only earning such a small amount like an allowance from your job. You're probably saying that you are working overtime to cover up the affair you are having behind Troy's back, aren't you? Huh?
What? Cynthia, you are having an affair while I'm working hard to run my boba tea store? I should get alimony for this.
My in-laws continued the conversation with premise of me having an affair with another man behind Troy's back. Then, Jennifer took out some papers from a drawer and handed it to me. Here you go. Here are the divorce papers. When I saw the papers, I saw Troy's handwriting and his signature. It seemed like Troy, Jennifer, and Catherine has prepared the divorce paper in advance. I couldn't take it anymore. Why am I the one who is working the hardest, being pushed around so much? I am getting the hell out of this house. I took the divorce papers, filled in my name, and packed up my belongings. As I walked to the front door with my belongings, my in-laws saw me off with grins on their faces. Now, what a relief! We finally got rid of the trouble of this house.
You deserve to live a lonely life on your own.
How could they be so horrible? I regret the fact that I worked so hard to make the livings for these people. I didn't want to leave without saying anything back to them. I said to my in-laws in such a mean tone. Well, this is it. You all should be thanking me for taking care of you all. I know you guys are the ones who will be in trouble when I'm gone. I wish you all the best. When I said this, the in-laws looked at me with wide eyes and made a fuss, but I ignored them and just left their house. then immediately submitted the divorce papers, rented an apartment for a single person, and began to live a comfortable life on my own. Why didn't I do this earlier? I should have left that house right away. Regretting my slow decision, I still lived a peaceful and tranquil life from then on. Incidentally, for some reason, Jennifer, who was now my ex-mother-in-law, kept calling me a lot after I left the house. Either she hadn't abused me enough yet, or she had found out the truth about her husband's earnings. I never bothered to find out why. I decided not to answer Jennifer's phone calls, thinking that if I continued to deal with her, I would probably only get into trouble. I went on with my life, and a year had passed in the blink of an eye. Then, I received a call from an unknown number. At first, I thought it would be best not to answer, but then I thought it might be a call from a business partner or a business-related call. With that thought in my mind, I hurried to answer the phone. Then, to my surprise, it was my ex-mother-in-law's voice coming through the phone. "Ah, Cynthia, finally you picked up the phone. You blocked my previous number, didn't you?" Of course I would block her number if I had been getting so many unwanted calls from her. "What do you want?" I was too tired to deal with every single comment she makes, so I decided to let her get to the point quickly. "Oh, okay. I'll just say it plain and simple. I'm going to be direct without getting into too much detail. I want you to come back to us." "What? What are you talking about?" "Please, we are really in deep trouble." Troy told me later that his boba tea store had hardly made any profit after a year, and that he had been paying the store rent out of his share of the estate. That's when I first found out and learned that Cynthia, you had been putting money into our house and helping out our living expenses. I'm glad you finally realized this. I wish you had told me this from the beginning. Are you sure you should be talking like that to me right now? I'm the only one who you can rely on now, aren't I? I'm sorry. I take that back. I am begging you. I won't be mean to you anymore. So please come back to our home and to our family." Even over the phone, I could tell that Jennifer was very serious about her request. It is certainly impossible for Jennifer to have 2 big kids at her house jobless while paying a 35-year mortgage all on her own. But then, Jennifer has been mean to me too much for me to be nice to her. I'm sorry, but I will never forgive you. There is no way we will ever get back together. If you can't pay the mortgage, why don't you sell the house? Well, Troy has been running a deficit for a long time anyway, so his debts are likely to be substantial. If you add all of those debts together, it wouldn't be enough to just sell your house, though. That's not why I'm asking you to do this. Troy's boba tea store went out of business 3 months ago. Oh, really? I knew it. I knew that he would go out of business. But it's none of my business anymore. I'm divorced, and you said it yourself. I'm worthless to you. Oh, I said that because that was just an emotional outburst. I don't care anymore. Anyway, I am already a stranger to you. You're on your own now. With that, I hung up the phone. Later on, a mutual friend of mine and Troy told me about what happened to Troy and his family, my ex-in-laws. Troy and his family could not pay the mortgage on the house and eventually sold the house. But because it was sold for a surprisingly low price, they were still burdened with a large amount of debt. In addition to that, since Troy's boba tea store had been losing so much money and was in a heavy debt, all the ex-in-laws are now working part-time jobs to pay off all of their debts. Meanwhile, I have been promoted at work and my salary has increased. Now I spend money only for myself and live a peaceful and happy life. From the beginning, Troy was such a crazy husband, wasn't he? And to that, his sister Catherine and his mother Jennifer are the worst human beings. I think Cynthia did well to endure living with such a crazy family. I'm very glad that Troy destroyed his boba tea store in no time. As Cynthia advised him, Troy should know better that he should have first had some experience in the food service industry before having his own business. Anyways, I am very relieved because Troy is experiencing now. I hope that Cynthia will continue to live a happy, peaceful life on her own. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. See you in the next video. My name is Katie and I'm 37 years old. I married my husband Steve last year and we bought a house together. Steve is 10 years younger than me. To be honest, I never dreamed that I would marry someone 10 years younger than me. When we started dating, I thought we would eventually break up, but before I knew it, we had quickly reached to marriage. Even when he proposed to me, I was the one who asked him if he was really okay to be married with me. But then, Steve replies with, "I'll definitely protect you, Katie, so please marry me." I thought to myself how lucky I was to be with someone so kind and gentle. However, our newlywed life was not all lovey-dovey and didn't get to have much time alone with just the two of us. Steve's mother, Lily, completely went against our marriage and made a fuss saying, "My own son Steve is going to leave me, his own mother, and choose that woman, that devilish woman." Lily was not at all pleased with the fact that I was 10 years older than Steve. I thought to myself that it's no surprise that she opposes me, given Steve and I's age difference. And then Lily gave me a condition in exchange for her approval of our marriage. She demands by saying, "You must live with me." I thought it was a bit too far-fetched, but Lily would not allow us to get married at all unless we obeyed her request, so we agreed. Besides, Steve at that time couldn't really ignore his mother like that. "You know, my mother raised me all on her own, right? So I felt like I had to return the favor." Lily had raised Steve all alone as a single mother. Steve was grateful for that and wanted to repay by taking care of her. As for me, I couldn't really do anything to get in the way between Lily and Steve's bond, so we decided to live together. I wanted Lily to see the two of us, Steve and I, as a normal married couple and to gain her approval. We decided to live together in a house that we had purchased as our new home. We hoped that this would improve our relationship with Lily. But oh yes, we were very much mistaken. "Katie, can't you even do your housework properly? What in the world have you learned at your age? This is why I hate women who are older than Steve." Lily's bullying only got worse. Like Steve, I worked overtime and often came home late, leaving me with little time to take care of the housework. "With all due respect, Lily, I work just like Steve does. So please understand that I can't do everything perfectly." That's what I would say to argue back, but "You instantly disobey people who are older than you, huh? What a bossy wife you are." Hearing what she said, it looks like she gets more fired up and bullies me even more once I argue back to her. Steve, seeing all of this, says, "Mother, stop talking to Katie like that." He always defended me. To that, Lily looks shocked and says, "Well, Steve, honey, you weren't like this before. It's all Katie's fault that you started rebelling against your own mother." While saying this, she would wipe her tears with a tissue. And then she would give me this very cold, angry glare. "This is all your fault. I don't know why Steve got married to a woman like you." This would happen every single time. Wow, I really can't believe that I'm kind of living a life of the one that you'd see in soap operas, where wives get picked on by their mother-in-laws. I guess Lily is frustrated that her beloved Steve was taken away by a wife who's way older than him, and also she just enjoys bullying me like it's her hobby. Day by day, Lily has turned into a very spoiled person, and she was going out of control. I had to take care after her grandmother before I had any experience in taking care of a baby, and I was having a hard time with it.
Katie, I'm sorry about this.
It's okay. Thank you for always being there for me. I actually feel really bad for Steve. His own mother hated and kept on bullying who he loves. Steve, who loves me very much, has tried many times to get her to move out, but I couldn't agree to his idea. I kind of felt sorry for Lily, even though she was like that. I believe that if I just put up with it, Lily would one day understand and maybe change for the better. That's what I believed. But Lily's verbal abuse towards me didn't stop. On the first New Year's Day after our marriage, we gathered at a relative's house. Lily, who usually never left the house, was so happy to see and talk with people as she was in an excited mood. Every day, Katie makes excuses that she has work, but in reality, she doesn't do anything at all. And she leaves all the housework to me. Can you believe that? If she did that during our generation, that would be unacceptable, right? I really don't know where she got her common sense. Lily was talking about me to all my relatives over drinks. She talked bad things about me even here. If it was only within our family, I'd be okay as I'm used to it. But now I was getting angry by the minute. Lily's voice was so loud that her conversation, which was held in the hall, even reached me in the kitchen. One of my husband's relatives, Lisa, who was with me, says, "Katie, it looks like you're having a hard time, aren't you?" She called out to me, looking worried. "Oh, yes, well, I'm managing somehow." Living with Lily is not a comforting experience, isn't it? Especially with Lily being like that. Well, actually, you're right. Without thinking, I let out my true feelings. Why don't you talk to Helen about it? Helen is Steve's aunt and Lily's sister. She's an older sister and she has always been kind and reliable. But would she even listen to me complaining about her own sister? While I was thinking that to myself, "Katie!" I heard a very loud voice echoing through the kitchen. "Oh, Lily, what's wrong now?" "You always make me keep asking you to bring me more drinks because we're out of it." "Sorry, I'll bring it out now." I sighed and hurriedly brought the beer. Lily was in the middle of chatting with her relatives and looked a little bit drunk. As I brought a cold bottle of beer and a new glass, Lily snatched it away from me and says, "Katie, you really are a clumsy wife, aren't you?" She says as she glares at me. Why the hell would she say that? As I was thinking this, Lily poured the beer into the glass for a relative who was sitting next to her. It's common sense to pour drinks into empty glasses, isn't it? This is what you always lack, Katie. You're really a useless person with a bad upbringing. Lily's words made everyone around look a little uncomfortable, but she didn't care. I felt that if I got angry at Lily at this point, this would put me in the same fighting ring as Lily, so I just casually decided to laugh it off. That's my mother-in-law. She really knows her way around drinks. I learn a lot from you, Lily. My usual business smile came in handy. Lily was also smiling with a huge grin on her face, thinking as if what she did was amazing. It seems like she's satisfied now. Katie, are you alright? It was Lily's sister Helen who spoke to me, all worried, looking at how exhausted I was. I'm really sorry about my sister. It's always so difficult to deal with her, isn't it? No. I denied it, but to be honest, I was so fed up with Lily that I couldn't manage to lie that well in front of Helen. Living together with Lily, is it difficult? Yes, it actually is. Lily doesn't seem to like me at all. I sighed and complained to Helen about my problems with Lily. Helen had listened to every word I said and finally says, "If you have any problems, you can always talk to me." I was moved by her kind and reassuring words, as if she was like my real mother. Yes, I have a kind ally who will help me when I'm really in trouble. I felt a little better, and like this, I was able to go on with the New Year's holiday.
Thank you, and I'm sorry for what happened, Katie. I'm sorry about all the things my mother has said to you.
Oh, it's okay. Lily was drunk, and because of that, I'm sure she just got carried away. I tried to think so, but I was too naive. Lily's verbal abuse towards me, who didn't try to argue back to her, escalated even more. Steve's relatives likes to hold family events, and they usually get together whenever they have the chance. I was sent out forcefully by Lily to help out every single time. Steve tells me that I didn't have to come if I was busy, but Lily would always force me to go. And every time, I would receive verbal abuse from Lily. Katie, don't get all carried away just because you have a job. A wife should always stand 3 steps behind her husband and quietly watch over him. You think you're unequal with Steve, but he's a better man than you. You don't understand anything. She was verbally abusing me publicly in front of my relatives again. What's so wrong of me working at my job? What's so wrong being in the same position as my husband? Steve tried repeatedly to warn Lily, but I felt very awkward about being everyone's attention on this lively drinking party. All I could do was just sit in silence and listen to Lily's terrible words. Then one day, Lily said something so horrible which made me decided that I could no longer live with her. It was at a family gathering as usual, and Lily, as usual, would be verbally abusive to me to make her feel better. What in the world does my son like about Katie? I really shouldn't have allowed him to marry her. Lily drinks with the relatives while saying such things. She can't even get pregnant, so what's the point of them getting married? Don't you think so? Lily says in a snarly voice, as if she is asking the people around her to agree with her. I felt the air freeze at her words. Steve's hand holding the glass began to shake, and I dropped the tray which I was holding on the floor.
What did you just say, Mother?
Steve asked in a low voice, as if trying to suppress his anger. What do you mean? I only said if she can't get pregnant, what's the point of you and Katie's marriage? I mean, aren't I right? Marriage at 37 means that she's given up on getting pregnant, right? That's why I was against the marriage, but you wouldn't listen to me. It's too late to regret anything. I wonder if Lily really understood the actual meaning of what she was saying. Steve and I definitely wanted kids. Indeed, I'm almost 40, so my chances of getting pregnant are slim. Still, I wanted his child and had just started going through fertility treatments. I didn't tell Lily a word about this. I knew that if I told her, she would criticize me again. Hey, Katie, let's make this clear once and for all. If you don't want to have kids, then get divorced already. Steve is still young, so he can start over as much as he wants. Okay? At that moment, something inside me had snapped. The wiring that I had worked so hard to endure all this time had snapped with the words kids and divorce. You really hate me, don't you, Lily? Yes, I do hate you. I hate you so much. Lily looks at me smiling as she says that. Okay then, well just now, we are no longer living together anymore. Could you please leave my house, Lily? What are you talking about? You're crazy. You joke too much in front of all my relatives, and it's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I'm not joking at all. You cannot stay in our house any longer, I declared firmly. Obviously, sensing a change in the atmosphere, all the relatives instantly moved away from us. Hey, what are you talking about? Well, if you hate me so much, then why are you living in our house? You have no right to demand me to leave. Oh, yes I do. That house is mine. It is up to me whether I let you live there or kick you out, Lily. Lily looks really shocked. Wait a minute, Steve. What's the meaning of all this? Lily asks Steve for help.
Mom, I told you many times, didn't I? Don't make fun of Katie too much.
Steve responded coldly.
I told you that Katie built that house by herself, didn't I? Why can't you even remember something so important?
Because normally it should be the husband who builds the house, right? Lily would always think that the husbands are the ones who built houses to provide for their family. Steve just sighed and continued. And I was against moving in with you, Mother. But Katie insisted on having you live with us, so I had no choice.
So that's enough. If you make fun of my wife anymore, even if you're my own mother, I will not allow it.
Lily, with tears in her eyes, argues back. Excuse me? No way! You're kidding, right? Steve, aren't you on my side?
Your side? I'm more like your enemy, Mother. I can't believe that you're my own mother who verbally abuses my own beloved wife like this.
Oh, Steve, why? Lily burst into tears and tried to hang on to Steve desperately, but it was already too late. Anyways, please pack your bags by the end of this week. As I said this, Lily looked at me with despair. No way! Katie, please, wait a minute. I apologize for everything I've done, so let's continue to live happily together. Okay? She says as if nothing had happened. I can't do that. I can't live any longer with someone who doesn't have a shred of gratitude. No! I want to continue to spend time with you both, okay? Please stay away from me. And please get out of my house as soon as possible. I am the landlord here. I told her with no remorse.
Mother, it is what it is, so get ready to leave. We won't help you.
Lily had heard her son and his wife demand for her to leave the house, all in front of her relatives. Only few people sympathized with her. It was because everyone knew what she had been saying this whole time. Katie, good job. Thank you. It was Steve's aunt, Helen, who approached us after. Actually, this whole idea was Helen's. We have to teach my sister a lesson. Katie, you did a good job. Steve, you have to protect your wife.
Auntie, thank you for helping me save Katie.
Helen and I had actually been in touch with each other frequently. When I couldn't stand Lily's abuse, I would always consult to Helen about it. Helen always supported me gently. But won't it be a trouble for you, Helen, from now on? It's okay. Don't you worry about such things. I will be monitoring Lily from now on. So you both should just think about living your lives first. Thank you so much. I really couldn't thank her enough. After that, I asked Lily to leave our house as planned. Helen was the one who strictly got angry at Lily, although she resisted to the very end. This is what you did to yourself. Why don't you reflect about all the things you've said that hurt people's feelings? Helen came over to pick Lily up, and that was how she left our house. Supposedly, Lily repeatedly went over to Helen and asked if Helen could also beg us to forgive Lily and to accept her back again. But to that, Helen yelled at Lily, "That's enough! Think about how they feel and how they don't want anything to do with you anymore." Lily cried like a little child and said bitterly, "That woman brainwashed my son and made him her own." After Lily was kicked out of our house, she began living alone. I don't know where she lives, but I don't need to know that anymore. And we also moved out of our home. In fact, Steve had just been transferred and I had just submitted my transfer request. The house was originally built with my parents' inheritance, so there was no mortgage and it was easy to sell it. We made some money after selling the house, and this made life a little more comfortable. If Lily were to visit our previous home, she would surely feel lonely and hopeless. We knew this and chose to part ways.
Katie, I'm home.
Welcome home, honey. I greeted Steve at the door with my big stomach.
I'm looking forward to our baby. I'm finally becoming a father.
I'm counting on you, sweetie. Soon we will be parents. Steve is determined to protect me, even if he has to cut ties off from his own mother. No matter what happens, we can get through it as a couple. I'm so glad that I married him. I believe that with all my heart.